as his son, and you're close to him, there could be something that you knew that made him different as a leader. What kind of a father was he to you, sir? And how would you define him, especially 21 years after now?
Well, I would say my father was a very busy man. And we got a lot of time with him during the weekends because he was busy working for the country, especially after he became the president. But he was always there to ask questions, how we were doing, and our mother would always make sure she reports to him, of course. Our family is a very regimented family with a lot of hierarchy, and that was how we came up, basically. He was a military man, he was a soldier, and I guess it was all military. The discipline was military style. He took us to military schools, Command Children's School. I went to Command Children's School, Bonny Camp, as my primary school. My secondary school, I went to the Nigerian Military School in Zaria. And I guess after he passed away, we came back to the civilian life. I don't think there's a university for the military apart from you having to join the Nigerian Defense Academy, which was not an option for us anyway. So
talking about growing up, what did you learn from him? I mean, different fathers, boys are always seen to be a bit heady or stronger, but in your own case, was he his father that spanked you, or was he a father that pampered you or talked to you?
Yes, in fact, he was a father that would talk. We got the spanking from the mother, always. He was a father that talked to us about about not being what would you call it? Not being material. I remember he was always, because we had it, we had everything, growing up, but we didn't enjoy. I see kids around today, their fathers spoiling them, giving them money to do what they want to do, to feel, to go out and show off. But my father never brought us up like that. He was a father that would always had it behind his mind not to spoil us, basically. I think once a month he would give us 1,000 naira, to go to, we were in Lagos back then, to go to Double Four or Kebab Corner, just to buy a pizza, and that was, and he was the chief of army staff then. Yes.
No prudence at that time. The kids.
Absolutely.
Have lavish privilege.
Not at all. We went to the military school. What privileges? And at the military school there was no privilege. We were normal students. It was only after, I think, the coups started taking place that they kind of isolated us at some point. They gave us an open pass so that, we can be evacuated when necessary, if necessary. So that was it, basically. We lived normal lives growing up.
Do you remember any time he spanked you, he beat you?
Never. My father never told me to get out. Never. Of course, in every house there are stubborn ones, and yes.
Were you one of them?
No, I don't.
Gentle one.
Yes, I believe so. Because we never had a clash with him. Never.
What are the fond memories you remember? Philosophies he used in guiding you that till today still work for you?
Basically, those what I've been telling you. He lived a very practical life. His way of living was very practical. It was guided by Islam, and I don't think he would approve of anything that deviated from that line. So personally, I believe he was always there to guide us, through the right path, basically. And you know, he was a Muslim, so he always followed that. Yes, the Quran, and basically that was our guiding factor.
What do you miss in him 21 years after now?
I can't start explaining that. You know, there's too much. There's too much. His absence has caused a lot. I believe if he was here today with us, a lot of things, a lot of theories wouldn't come up, because all these things are merely theoretical, you know. And I think if he was here, none of this rubbish, because it's rubbish and nonsense, you know, from the get-go. It has been a witch hunt. It has been you know, it is basically targeted, you know. So I can't begin to explain that. Yes, his loss totally changed our frame of mind. It totally changed our environment. It totally brought in a whole level of attacks, I would say, you know, that were really not even necessary.
Chief Dele once said that you are the most harassed family. How do you feel? He wrote it that your family is the most harassed family in this country.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. My Egbon, Chief Dele Momodu, is a well-respected member of this family, I believe. And in fact, we're on a group together, on a WhatsApp group, you know, and that group, it's called the New Leaders Platform, and there are people from all over the country. You know, we meet, we talk, and we discuss politics and business and all what's not. And just last week, I think, when this xenophobia thingy happened, yes, although they say it's not the right phrase, xenophobia, it shouldn't be put together, but that's what it's referred to right now. When it happened, I think one of the members posted a certain post that has been going around. If it was Abacha, this wouldn't have happened. I believe a lot of people have seen it. And another member of the group came out and was complaining that this is insensitive. How could he post such a thing, knowing he is on that group? Does he know who Abiola is to him? You know, I wanted to come out and talk, but I just said, you know, it is one of those, we have thick skins now, so we ignore it, you know.
Became diplomatic.
Absolutely. You know, I totally ignored it. You know, if I were to talk, I would tell him who Abiola is to us. You know, I would tell him the fond memories of Abiola coming to my 8th birthday. You know, I remember, you know, and our own history with Abiola. You know,
late Bashir MQ Abiola.
Absolutely.
So close to the family.
Absolutely. We're close. You know, power and politics knocks heads together. So, you know, and I wanted to talk, but I just ignored it, basically. And I would have told him, he was saying, they killed Kudirat, you know, and all what's not. I wanted to talk, but you know, some things that is the narrative. He started calling Abacha a mass murderer, you know, and other members of the platform had to intervene and say, what are you talking about? It basically ridiculed him and absolutely, you know, I didn't have to talk, and I was happy I didn't have to talk. And you know, so basically Nigerians now are beginning to wake up. At least the educated ones are beginning to wake up and ask fundamental questions about who Abacha was, what his legacies were, you know, and how his legacies were intentionally stifled, you know, and killed.
His vision.
Yes, his vision
for African.
Absolutely. You know, this you know, the currency they're doing now, the free trade. Yeah. You know, it started with them and Gaddafi. You know, it started way back, the single currency Africa would use, the free trade.
Seamless trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 20 years down the line, it is the same thing we are talking about. I remember the Vision 2010, the minute it was announced, you know, the opposition came out then and started, you know, attacking it. It wasn't going to work. But, you know, now growing up, I understand this is just opposition. You know, people just oppose you without really knowing, you know, what the content, what the soul of the document really entails for the people. So, you know, a lot of things you brush up and you brush it out of the way because you understand that people do not really understand it. And, you know, the narrative that is mainstream today is basically put out there to demonize someone.
Will you say that people misunderstood your dad? I mean, the people misunderstood him?
No, the people that worked with him did not misunderstand him. Okay? It is the narrative that was put out of him, okay, after his death, that it was basically propaganda, well orchestrated propaganda, you know, sustained too. So it is that narrative that has poisoned people's minds per se, not to understand it, to just have one way, you know, thinking, yes, of Abacha. Abacha is a murderer and is a looter and he's that and that. But if you look at the other side of the coin, you know, it says a different story. Like they're talking about the murder cases and all what's not. You know, I remember my brother Mohammed and Major Mustafa, how they were arrested back in the days and locked up, you know, and 21 or 22 years down the line now, I think back then they had over 100 different cases, not counts, different cases on them, and 20-something years down the line, where are they? You know, the murder cases. So when people, they've all won the cases, by the way, you know, and thank God for our judiciary, okay, and not being as corrupt as people perceive them to be. You know, we have God has guided them and to deliver justice to people that really needed justice, you know. So
what really pained you about those stories about your father? I mean, if people will say a lot of those things happened under his regime, that Jakura was killed, this Rwani was shot, and all those kind of things. When you read those stories, what comes to your mind? What pains you really about this?
Well, like I said, it used to pain me, you know. It used to pain me. But right now, I understand that it is just propaganda, basically. You know, all these people they're calling and talking about, I grew up knowing them, you know, and
you're talking about the Beulah himself.
Yes, he always came to our house. Even when my father was chief of army staff, he always came. I believe he always came to discuss politics, basically, and you know, the way forward with my dad. And of course, I knew him. He knew me personally. May their souls rest in peace. Yes, basically.
What advice do you have for Nigerian youth? Look at the youth today. It seems they've lost focus. You hear about Yahoo Plus, credit cards scam. Just recently, FBI arrested 80 Nigerians, and it's smiling our image. When you get to the airport now, they tell you what's card, and they say, "Oh, stay here because you're Nigerian." What do you feel about this with our young people? What do you think they should do? I mean, what do you think government should do so that the perception can be changed?
Well, I believe our main problem in Nigeria is education. You know, the foundation. You know, the foundation isn't there anymore. If you look back, the population, although the demographics are different now. There's a huge spike in population, and well, the government is expected to keep up. That is the job of the government. You know, it is the responsibility of government, not the private sector. Of course, the private sector comes in to augment when there's an opportunity, but the private sector is there to make money. They give value to, you know, for pay. The government is supposed to provide, you know, basic. Now I hear Kaduna, Kano, you know, everybody is trying to provide that. Well, it's never too late. You know, it is a policy that is in the right direction. You know, if you do not train your future, then your future is bleak. Absolutely. So we're hopeful that the future would be a bit better with a better educated population, basically.
Are you going to go into politics? You talk so very intelligently, and I'm so very surprised that you have so much in your head to offer. Are you thinking of going into politics? Yes.
Well, no. I have a passion for politicians. I have a passion to push people that I see can deliver. I have a passion to push people that have substance that I come across. But I don't think personally, you know, it is a right path for me to follow.
You're a kingmaker.
Well, you can. I hope. Well, you can say that. If you dub me that, then fine, so be it. But I see a lot of young men, you know, younger than I am, that want to come out and really participate. Yes, aspiring for positions, different positions.
What do you define as a good democracy? What do you call your own perception of democracy? In Nigeria, you see people say, "Oh, this is democracy," but we still see bad road. We still see people.
Yes. Well, basically, democracy. We have the textbook, you know, for the people. This, that. But the issue is good governance, basically, and it is supposed to be a service for the people. But in Nigeria, of course, we do not have that. You know, we're supposed to be able to cater for the population to the best of our ability, of course.
Welfare.
Yes.
Welfare package.
Absolutely. Well, yes. You can do that. Okay. You can, if your economy is buoyant enough, yes, you can hand out money to people to help alleviate them, you know, in their various, you know, fields, and that is not a bad thing. But I think there are fundamentals that need to be prioritized by the government, and if the nation, our society, does not have that foundation, basically, then anything you put on top of it would just sink. Yes, it wouldn't have the desired effect. Yes, so
we can get out of this problem.
So we're hopeful. We're definitely hopeful. You know, and I'm very happy with this government also. You know, although there's a lot of talk that there is corruption and there's that, but from people like us that have been there before, you know, you would understand that there is a lot of politics and misinformation and propaganda machinery going on from the opposition and all what's not. So to misinform the public through fake news, you know, I think the government has some steadfast policies that are really making an impact on the people that need it the most. Anybody else can go to hell, as far as we're concerned. Yes.
Who is Sani Abacha really? Apart from you have this.
I'm just a normal, ordinary guy. I have my small office, you know, in Maitama, and I do my business, and that is it. I'm a very quiet fella.
Hobby? Do you have hobby?
I'm a very family-oriented person. Yes, I'm always around my kids. I take them out a lot. We go swimming. We play football in the house. Yes, so yes, my hobby is to train my children.
That's a very good hobby.
Yes.
Serena Williams and the other, the father was training them when they were young, and today they are superstars. Serena Williams.
Yes, the sister. The lawn tennis.
Lawn tennis, lawn tennis.
Yeah.
So you can say fatherhood is a passion too.
Absolutely.
And then do you have anything like what's your favorite channel that you like watching?
I hardly watch TV. Yes, I watch news. I watch to see and hear what is going on, but I hardly watch movies or or.
Do you read books? What's your favorite book?
Well, my favorite book is an old book. It is called. It is called By Way of Deception. And it's
very powerful.
Yes, it is. It is written by an ex-Israeli Mossad agent that, of course, fell out with them and came out. And I think I've read it like 3 times. I came out and had a lot of revelations about their operations, which is really impressive. So
impressive for education.
Yes, it educates you. It educates you about the depth of the depth that some states go. Yes, it's really deep.
Nationalism.
Absolutely, to achieve what they want to achieve. Yes, it's quite impressive, really.
And you're married. How do you describe your wife? I think it's 4 years ago.
No. I've been married. I got married in 2012. Okay. Yes, that's about 8 years now. And my wife is my life. Yes.
She Hausa, Yoruba?
Yes.
Your family is the only one.
My wife is Hausa. She's Arab. She's Shua Arab, just like my mother. Yes. So under the category Hausa. Yes.
She's your life. Only few men can say that kind of thing.
Because I'm always around her. I'm like I told you. I've always been around my family. Yes, and I live my life with them. I just go to the office, do my job, and I come back home, and I visit my mother almost every night, and that's it.
I was going to. How will you describe her? She has sustained the bashing for many years. Everything that happened after your father, it was she that faced it, and probably ALHAJI Abacha. Yes. So how will you describe your mom? Who is she to you?
People would probably not know, but my mother is one of the strongest people, one of the strongest women, that I know, and she has gone through a lot, and she has absorbed a lot, and basically she has pushed through and persevered, and I would say she's bringing us all out of this bitter past that we've all been put in, by force. And she's doing her best, basically. She's doing a lot, of course I cannot come out and tell you a lot of the things she's doing. And I know she still has a passion for the humanitarian work, and she needs a lot of support towards that, and we try to give her that support.
What is the biggest lesson life has taught you as a young
life?
Yes.
Never take anything for granted. Okay. Yes, and you could be the best man today and be the worst tomorrow. Basically, that is it. That is it. Absolutely. At the end of the day, it is all in the eyes of the society. The perception, everybody's perception towards anybody is based on the way society sees him and yes, and basically portray him. Yes.
On the last note, give an advice to young people that are aspiring to be successful, they want to be great, but despite the condition in the country, they're saying, oh, there's no light, the government is not giving basic amenities, oh, we have to jet out of this country, we have to go to London, we have to go to America, we have to go to South Africa. What advice are you going to give young people?
Well, I'm not one to pamper or be soft, on young people, on us. But I would say there is no excuse for failure. If you know what you want, you are articulated, and you have a dream, you keep pushing until you get there. Basically, there is no room for complaint. Yes, a lot of people have succeeded and they have come from nothing. Okay, and you see them today. Everybody has a story, basically. So there's basically no excuse. Just keep on pushing until you achieve, and that is it.